you start a new project and it's really busy at the beginning, but then when you delegate and you get some process and flow in the project, now all of a sudden you have more capacity. So what do we end up doing? Is we start something new or we take on something else because we have to fill that void with something, which is not necessarily, in often cases, it's not the right thing to do. Hey, it's Renee. Welcome to the Into the Wild Show, the podcast for women who want to build incredible mental strength to level up their business and lifestyle. I'm Renée Warren, the founder of We Wild Women, author, speaker, award-winning entrepreneur, and your host. Together, we will make you unapologetic about shining your light, growing your business, and turning you into a wildly confident and successful leader. This is for you, the visionary, the go-getter, the entrepreneur, and for those that need a real kick in the butt to get going and to dream bigger. Each week, I bring in leading experts and entrepreneurs to help you take leaps in the right direction, because I know the best advice comes from someone who has successfully done it before. So, are you ready to level up? Welcome to Into the Wild. Hey, you wild women! Renee here, coming at you with another quickie. So this episode is quick and it is about overwhelm. And funny enough, today's been very overwhelming for me. So this is why I wanted to talk about this. We just came back from 2 weeks on the East Coast, beautiful vacation, got to see family and friends and do all these incredible things. But whenever you're traveling, whenever you're getting on a plane, especially if you have kids, especially if there's other lives that you're responsible for, and you run a business, there's so many moving parts and things that you actually have to manage and take care of. And I know as women, we overthink these things and they're always on our mind. And so because that, we create this overwhelm. It happens and it's almost like we're addicted to it. As my good friend Amber Trueblood says, we are addicted to overwhelm. For some reason, it's like the Energizer Bunny battery. This overwhelm is something that it's like a badge of honor. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it for many reasons. But what I've learned as of late, especially working with my beautiful spiritual therapist, Stephanie, is something like that I've been doing wrong for so many years, chronic procrastination. At first, my mom and my dad used to call me a lollygagger, right? So lollygagging in the sense that I would be distracted or I just take my time in getting dressed, take my time in getting out the door, into the car, onto the school bus. But over the years, what I realized is like there's a difference between that lollygagger and then this mother whom I've become and this entrepreneur whom I've become in the sense that I procrastinate. And it actually became a point of contention with my husband and I, hi Dan, because he cornered me the other day and he goes, why are you always 10 minutes late? It's perpetually, chronically, consistently 10 minutes late. I could never figure this out. If I'm always 10 minutes late, then why can't I just do things 10 minutes faster? So working with my spiritual therapist and understanding why I was procrastinating is because I would take on too much. But understanding that there's so much to unpack and we won't have time to talk about it all. But the biggest thing is that the overwhelm of my life is because of that procrastination. I take on too much because when something gets easy and there's flow and there's process, I have to take on more because I'm addicted to that overwhelm. Do you understand that? I'm sure you go through it too, where it's like you start a new project and it's really busy at the beginning, but then when you delegate and you get some process and flow in the project, now all of a sudden you have more capacity. So what do we end up doing? Is we start something new or we take on something else because we have to fill that void with something, which is not necessarily, in often cases, it's not the right thing to do. We should be just taking time to rest or taking time to work out or nourish our minds or our bodies and be with the people that we love. Instead, no, we just start another project. So I really wanted to talk to you about some quick ways to reduce overwhelm because of your procrastination. The first thing is that you need to recognize that procrastination is innately a fight or flight or freeze response. This was the big thing that I learned with my spiritual therapist is when I came to her, I said, I'm always late, Dan's mad at me, and I know I'm late, and it really bugs me about myself. But why is that the case? And then she asked me, what are the things you're never late for? And I actually had a very long list of things that I was never late for. And she goes, well, why is it for that? But then all these things, a theme of things I'm always late for. And it's because the things that I'm late for are things that I have subconsciously not committed to. So this could be like going out for dinner with another couple that I'm late because in my mind, I don't actually want to go. And so I'm actually seeking opportunities to get out of that. That's wrong. It's wrong in so many levels because these are people that are committed to meeting to us. We've already put it in our calendar and it's happening. And I'm telling myself subconsciously that I went out for whatever reason. And that's not fair. It's not fair to me or anybody that's going to that dinner. And so when I realized that it was because I wasn't committed to the things, I vowed to say the things I say yes to, I'm fully committed to that yes. And the things I say no to, I am fully committed to that no. Sometimes I need time to process, like my husband, super busy guy, overscheduled, always on the go, always going out for dinners and hikes and meeting people and inviting people over. This happens. So for me, when he's like, hey, do you want to do dinner on this night, bowling on that night, and let's go do this thing on this Saturday, and then Sunday we're going to do this. I say, whoa, back up. I actually need to physically look at a calendar, a normal calendar, a month view of a calendar, look at the days and look what I have scheduled because I need to get an energy pulse check of what my day looks like. And if I know, I will physically, emotionally, and mentally be able to go and do that thing. If it's back-to-back recordings, if I'm doing an onboarding with a new client, or if I have a VIP day, there's all these things in a day. No, I don't want to go for dinner. He looks at his calendar and he's like, I'm free. He doesn't care about what activity he was doing that day. If he has an available time slot, he's going to fill it with something with other people. I don't operate that way. And so my procrastination got worse and worse over the years because I kept saying yes to things because my calendar was open. However, I didn't actually pay attention to the energy that was required of me during that day or that morning to actually properly commit to it. So subconsciously, I was like, oh, I can just get out because I'm not the one that organized that dinner and there's other people going, so I can bail, no big deal. No one will know. How unfair is that? So recognize that it is a fight or flight response. Ask yourself, why is my brain perceiving a threat when clearly and logically I'm totally fine? Or what is it that I'm really avoiding and why? In a fight between our overthinking and our survival functions, overthinking often wins. If you feel unsafe for any reason, whether that's from a trauma, overwhelm, stress, or burnout, your autonomic nervous system will force you into that fight or flight or freeze defense. This is a survival response, which is great if you're actually in danger, but oftentimes it's mislabeled as procrastination or lollygagging. Now, where procrastination often shows up is when we are afraid of doing something even though there is no perceived risk. It's an avoidance mechanism. For me, like I said, I realized when I was so afraid to commit fully, to jump in, looking for ways to cancel, to get out of situations, like even the recent client that I landed is a huge influencer. And I threw my hat in the ring to put in a proposal, knowing I was going up against probably a handful of other really decent opportunities. And I set in my head, I was like, I'm not going to get it. Well, they came back and they said yes. And they said yes. In my head, I was like, okay, well, I can still get out of this. I can still say, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. In the delay there, I actually said yes to other clients, which isn't true. I kept telling myself that I could get out of it. I kept procrastinating putting together the contract. I kept procrastinating sending the emails and asking the questions and scheduling the onboarding call because I was afraid to do the work. When I really thought about it, the reason why I did that was I was hoping something would come in, change the situation where I didn't have to do this work because I was dealing with one of the most influential people that I've ever had to manage. And that scared me. And I thought, oh my gosh, Renée, this is such an incredible opportunity. So many other people would love to do this. Why are you trying to avoid this incredible opportunity? Question for you. What is something that helps to build reputation, increase demand for your expertise, expand your network, increase your credibility, increase relevance, allows you to take better control of your message and perception, helps you to get more recognized, and is the most trusted form of marketing out there. It's public relations. And I know if you're listening to this show, it means that you are ripe and ready to unlock the next version of your business. I also know that you probably don't have an extra $30,000 sitting around to hire an expert agency that can do this for you. What if I had a simple solution that could help you achieve all of the above without the hefty price tag? What if I told you that you could have a custom world-class PR strategy built for you in a day with all the necessary videos to show you how to implement and integrate the strategy into your everyday business function? How would you feel? Well, I've got some great news for you. I have created the ultimate VIP day that allows you to play a bigger game with the guidance of a veteran publicist who will create your custom strategy with a vetted media list, creative pitch templates, and all the PR fixings you need to get way more recognition for yourself and your business. And it is a simple solution that you and your team can implement the next day. I promise you, this has been done by dozens already with some incredible results. It is called the VIP Day. It's that simple. It is the We Wild Women VIP Day. If you go to wewildwomen.com/VIP Day to learn more, you can either apply or you can reach out to me on Instagram at Renée_Warren to learn more about the VIP Day and how this can help you and your brand unlock the next level. That's wewildwomen.com/VIP Day. So the next quick way to reduce your overwhelm that I want to talk to you about is reducing distractions. This is huge. Distractions are also procrastination mechanisms in play. You know what? You can say, I have ADD, I have ADHD. I get it. There are diagnoses where this thing is the case, but for the most part, people still use this as an excuse. Being distracted. So what could be common distractions is your environment. For me, stupidly decided to set up shop at the dining room table today, even though I have a beautiful office that is away from everyone else, because I liked the view and I loved the energy. However, my kids were awake and my dog was there. And all of a sudden they're asking me all these questions. Mama, I need this. Mama, I want that. Da, 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 da. They don't need me. It's just convenient because I'm there and they see me and I always do things for them. So I told them, listen, guys, I'm actually going to go upstairs. And for 2 hours, you're not going to bug me. And you can play with your toys. You can go on your iPad. So the environment was huge. And kids and animals. I remember one time, Blaze, our puppy, it was the time of day where he's super, super tired and hardly anything ever gets him out of bed. So I brought him into my office and he'd only been up here a couple times before. But he got really excited. He got excited and I was trying to record a podcast and he just got excited. And any little slight movement he made kind of overwhelmed me and it triggered that overwhelm. And I was like, you know what? I got to get this dog out of here. So animals is another thing. Noise. Noise is huge. We have our landscapers are come on a scheduled every Tuesday at 7 a.m. And the reason why we asked specifically for this time is because we're not often recording shows. However, today, of course, being Tuesday at 7 a.m., I did have an episode that I was recording on someone else's show. And I just get overwhelmed with a sensory overwhelm almost of noises that shouldn't be happening when they happen. And it could be a lawnmower, it could be the dog barking, it could be the kids just, making noises they don't usually make. My brain defaults to tuning into that and not focusing on the task at hand. And so that causes overwhelm. And the procrastination in all of this is I know what I need to do, where I need to be in order to be completely productive. Another distraction is email. What I do is I have a couple browsers installed on my computer. I have a Google Chrome and then I have my Safari. And I only do specific tasks in these browsers. Safari is dedicated to all social media. So I close that off and it's closed most of the day. And you can have different profiles set up too. So I close out email as much as possible and I only allow myself to check it a few times a day. Now, being in PR, we do need to respond to pitches that reply to us as soon as they come in. So I do get distracted. But what I do is in my email, if I have to be in it, I not subscribed to anything in my work emails. If I do, I have the filter set up so it goes to a specific folder and on all of these things set up because email is a distraction. I use noise canceling headphones. Those help with outside distractions. And then when I really need to focus, I tune into the binaural beats on Spotify. And I set a timer and I get to work. And I don't do anything else until those tasks are done. Another example of something that I procrastinate on, and I still don't know why, is people hire me to help them get PR coverage. One of the most important things is to pitch the media. Guess what I procrastinate on doing is the pitching. And I don't know why. I come up with the perfect pitch, the subject lines. When I finally get it tuned in, the pitches often get yeses. This is why clients want to hire me. And for some reason, I procrastinate on this. So now I have to go into my calendar, and this is going to come up. And the next point is I schedule those blocks and those moments for just pitching. And it really does not take a lot of time because when you splice up the different functions of your day, right? Like I never find the podcast, do the research, blah, 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 and pitch in the same time chunk. Those are separate events. The actual pitching of like writing the email based on the template and sending it out is separate from finding the contacts and the host and the podcast and the media. So they're different functions. I have to schedule it, right? So if it truly matters, you have to put it in your calendar. Do the most important things first thing in the morning. I use the Eisenhower matrix. The most important thing is important and urgent gets done at the beginning, right? Do that first. We often avoid the big thing first. And I get it, which leads me to number 4. The reality that the more you keep putting it off is the more that crap grows. The more you keep procrastinating, the more you keep telling yourself, I just need to go donate that couch to the Salvation Army because it's been sitting in the garage for 5 months. How long is it going to actually take you to go do it to give you that peace of mind? Or to call up your uncle, hey, Bob, listen, can you come by the truck tomorrow at 9 a.m. and pick up the couch and bring it to Salvation Army? I'll give you $20. Takes 2 seconds to actually get the thing done. Why do we procrastinate? What I used to do with my kids and folding their clothes, putting it away, is they would always just put it off and put it off and put it off. So I finally started putting the pile of their clean clothes to put away in the middle of the staircase because they're going to trip over it. Guess what happens? They still trip over it. So then I started putting it on their pillows and they couldn't avoid that task anymore, right? So the more you keep putting it off, the more that crap grows. Make a honey-do list, post-it notes. If you have to, post it on the wall. Every weekend, you pick one post-it note and that's a task you're going to do for the weekend. Don't let anything else become a distraction. You could even do that in your business. The point is that the more you put it off, the more it grows. The more it grows, it creates overwhelm. The more you're overwhelmed, the more you procrastinate, and it's just a vicious cycle. So next up is create theme days in your business so that important things are getting done at the beginning of the week or where you have the most energy to get it done efficiently and well. So I don't pitch Mondays and Fridays because it's an industry standard. Most people don't want to see pitches on Monday mornings, and Fridays are checked out. So then I know Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are good pitching days. Even better yet, new information just came out. You'll want to take note on this. Thursdays are actually the best pitching day. So this is great. I have 3 days to prepare to start pitching on Thursday. Now, I don't do all my pitching for my clients on the same day. However, I can schedule it to go out on Thursday. So Mondays are typically my boring paperwork type days for the business. In the morning, I'll reply to any queries from journalists and whatnot. But for the most part, it's like paperwork stuff, the boring stuff for the business. But it's also the day that I, register kids for camps and sports camps and all this stuff that the mummying can do that she can't do on the weekend. And then Fridays is kind of like wrap up loose ends of the tasks of the week that I haven't gotten done. It could be reporting. I don't have reoccurring scheduled calls on Mondays and Fridays. So really, I hyperload the middle of the week, which allows me to save my energy for that time of the week, knowing that I will avoid late dinners. I will make sure that I am really focused on my sleep and that my attention to those 3 days is dedicated to all my client work and producing the best stuff I can do for them. And then for you, it could be like creating social media days. Maybe it's every Friday for 2 hours in the morning is when you're creating content or planning. Just whatever it is, when you create those days, you know what energy you need to go into that day with, which helps with reducing overwhelm and definitely helps reduce the procrastination. The last one I want to leave you with is a task that profoundly has changed my life. And it is simple as writing it down. I did the morning pages, which is part of your homework, so to speak, from Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, which you're supposed to wake up, roll out of bed, do your quick little routine, sit down and write 3 pages of conscious stream of thought. And it could be as stupid as reiterating over and over again why you drink coffee or why you should get the other type of coffee or why maybe you need to, get a larger version of your kids' shin pads because they've outgrown them. But over time, you know what it does is it gets all of these negative circling thoughts off of your mind onto paper. When you get it out of your head, it's almost like you're shaking the water out of your ear and you're shaking all that overwhelm out of your head onto a piece of paper. And oftentimes what happens is you start thinking of all the to-do lists, like all the to-do things you have to do, which is great. What I used to do is on the bottom corner of the page, I would write my to-do list. So if I was writing conscious stream of thought, like, oh, you forgot to take out the trash, and I would write take out trash. And then I would look at that to-do list, and typically it's like a 10 to 15 minute tasks of stuff I have to do. I would get it done. And then it's off my chest. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Writing it down has been a huge benefit. And it could be as simple as a notes file on your phone if you don't like writing for whatever reason. It could be voice notes. I have voice notes on my phone too, just getting it off your mind, off your chest. Then you can go back, even though Julia Cameron says don't, I argue too, and look at the themes of the things that you write about. So I was able to do this to really decipher why I wasn't leaning into this type of business that was secretly firing me up. What was I avoiding? What was I ashamed of to get out of coaching and to go back into PR? So when I put down all these thoughts and I would circle them and scratch them out, I realized I was worried what other people would think of me. I was worried that they would think Renée changes her mind all the time. She went from PR to coaching and now back to PR, which would mean in my mind, oh, we can't trust her. The reality is everyone was waiting for me to make this move. So when I finally did it, I got tons of messages from friends and family saying, Renée, it is so lovely to see you fired up again. It is so lovely to see you doing your work, the work of service to others. It's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't have gotten there had I not been writing those pages. I would still be overwhelmed. I would still be procrastinating. I would still be coaching, doing something that I wasn't fully aligned with because I wasn't doing the work. So anyway, there you have it. These are the quick ways to reduce overwhelm due to procrastination. Let me tell you, I still live it, I breathe it, but now I'm claiming to the world that I'm a procrastinator and I'm going to work on becoming a better version of myself so that my husband doesn't get mad at me for being 10 minutes late, and also out of respect for other people that are waiting on me, and for myself to show up and fully be committed to do the things that I want to do. And I hope that you can also commit to this as well. Before I go, as usual, if you could just jump on in there to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review and maybe some words of wisdom, something you've taken away from this show, and share it with your friends and family because we need to get the message out to more people. Also, looking for really stellar women in business in sales and marketing right now to be guests on my show. So if you are someone you know wants to be a guest on the podcast, hit me up on Instagram, Renée_Warren. So there you have it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Into the Wild. To make this girl happy and to help reach other women who are dreaming of starting their business, please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and everywhere you listen in. Also, if you want to find me in the wild, check me out on Instagram at Renée_Warren. That's RENEE_WARREN. And leaving you with one of my favorite tips of all time. The best advice you could ever receive is from someone who has successfully done it before you. Until next time, ladies, peace out.